guys, welcome to Lunar Goddess Tarot. I'm Sarah and I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader today. For all of you who are new, you probably haven't seen my face before, so I wanted to just do a video where you can actually see me. Welcome in, and thank you so much for being here. And to all of my already subscribers, you haven't seen my face for a while either, so I wanted to go ahead and just give a warm hello, and I wanted to look into the energies, what's going on in the connection. The energies have shifted and changed so much, as I'm sure you're feeling inside of yourselves right now as we've gone through the eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter in Pisces, all of these shifts and changes planetarily and otherwise and energetically, as well as what you're feeling just within yourself. Okay, and these changes are happening to shift us into a place of deep surrender, and it can feel scary at times because we don't know what's next. We don't know if the counterpart is coming back. We don't know, and so fear can set in. And I hope that this video gives you a sense of calm and comfort to let you know that you're absolutely on the right track. And regardless of if you're in communication with your counterpart, you're in some sort of a physical connection, you're not in contact in the 3D, you've never met in the 3D, this can still apply to you. And as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if you're interested in a private reading, I do still have openings for the month of June. It's first come, first serve every month. So if you're interested, please reach out to me at the email listed below. And if you'd like to become a Patreon subscriber, reach out to me, or also, what am I trying to say? Blech. If you want to look into my Patreon channel, go ahead and check that out. The link is below. Okay, so we are nearing the summer solstice here, and I think this is such an important time for shifts and changes and blossoming. And so I want to start with the Moonology deck here. And I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's enjoying the shifts and changes and not feeling the fear. And if you're feeling the fear, I want you just to move into the fear. I want you to allow it to, rather than overtaking your mind, just acknowledge it and let yourself move through that feeling, literally physically moving your body, okay? So we're gonna call in the archangels of the highest order. I'm gonna call in my guides, my ancestors, my light team, as well as my highest self. Please allow me to be a pure vessel of divine truth, and I apologize in advance for the noise. It's a busy day here in the neighborhood. Please allow me to be a vessel of divine truth and divine clarity and divine purpose for all of my subscribers watching and all of the viewers watching around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. So we're gonna look into the energies here. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Masculine energy, what is going on? This is within and without, internal and external. The end of a tough cycle approaches, masculine, yes, okay? The end of a tough cycle, full moon in Capricorn. Now, as this happens, we have third quarter moon saying adjustments are required. So this is like you have time before the full moon and you can make these adjustments, masculine. So yes, you're adjusting at this time. And what that means is that nothing is set in stone, and you are moving through significant changes and shifts in your personal life. Likely feminines, if you're watching, I know there are masculines watching because I feel it, and you have come to me in my dreams. Significant, famous masculines have come to me in my dreams, as have collegiate masculines, as have all types of masculines over the past several months, as I'm sure many of you are experiencing as well. So adjustments are required, and it has to do with your physical external world. And I feel like a lot of masculines are making changes right now in regards to how they're operating on a day-to-day basis, their day-to-day or daily routines, and also what they would like to see in their lives moving forward. So what is it, masculine, that you'd like to bring into your life next? And I think you're really asking yourself, what is it that I'll put up with, and what is it that I need to cut out completely? And that's what eclipse season has done for all of us, is asked us, what are we going to keep and what are we going to release and surrender? So masculines, you're in a state of action at this time, moving from a place of, you're still rooted in your spiritual truth, But now you're moving towards action, aligned with that spiritual truth is what I see happening. So Capricorn represents hard work. So the sign of Capricorn, for all my Capricorns out there, you know, or a significant placement in Capricorn, a significant placement of Capricorn, you can be potentially a workaholic. So many masculines have had this programming of having to really, really work hard, and money equals power, money equals success in life. And so there's been a dismantling of that so-called toxic masculinity, where the masculine energy feels like I have to be moving, I have to be doing, I have to be conquering, I have to make money in order to be of service, or else I'm useless. So there's the end of this tough cycle for Capricorn that is allowing the masculine energy to be at peace with just resting, to be at peace with being, just being, and to be at peace with the feminine aspect of himself or herself, right? Because energies, if you're new, masculine and feminine doesn't mean the male or female. Masculine and feminine can be, a feminine can be in a masculine body, and a masculine can be in a feminine body. And we have both polarities inside of us. We're not one or the other, we're both. The whole idea or purpose of this connection is to bring you back to self, and to bring you back to a place of inner wholeness and peace. It's inner union. And we are laying grid work and creating this new earth. So the purpose of the twin flame unions is widespread and very deep. And there's a sense of quantum entanglement. If you've ever looked at or studied quantum physics, look at the concept of quantum entanglement, and it explains this twin flame dynamic. It even explains mirroring. So I'm starting to get a better understanding of mirroring myself, talking to a divine feminine. And so for instance, one of the things that we're gonna bring up in a future webinar, it's either gonna be a webinar or a live, but I'm kind of leaning towards webinar at this point. But one of the things we're gonna be talking about is, what does mirroring mean? And so when the masculine is in this place of pushing the feminine away, or rejecting the feminine, or not seeing the purpose, or not seeing the feminine for who she is, or not recognizing the soul connection, or whatever it might be, or just saying, I'm too busy, I don't have time for this in my life, or it's not going to work out between us, or whatever has been said, whatever words have been exchanged, whatever actions have been done or not done, there's a reason and a purpose for that. And so we need to look within us. It's not about, why did they do that? Why did they do that? Because we'll stay in that perpetual cycle of questioning and wondering and longing. We have to go within. And I'm 2 years into the journey, and 2 years as of last month. So like very fresh 2 years in a couple weeks here. And it took me basically this whole time to start to really understand not only the deeper purpose of the connection, but also why the perceived rejection, why the perceived abandonment from this person who claims to love me so much. And it requires us to look deep within it, where we're not showing up for ourselves, or we're not loving ourselves, and we're not self-aware. Okay, we're not embracing radical self-love. It will take you down a road and a path that you've never explored or experienced before with any other person. Soulmates don't require as much work as a divine counterpart does. And so when you meet your divine counterpart, they often say your world turns upside down. That's exactly what happens. But it's turning upside down and inside out in order to get you to finally wake up. So the question would be, divine feminine watching, are you awake? And look at what your masculine's going through. He's been through a really rough period. And you can perhaps develop more compassion for his physical absence in your life, knowing that this is what he's gone through. He's gone through a tough cycle, and adjustments are required at this point in time in order for the masculine to continue to gain a deeper understanding of himself, of self-love, self-acceptance, self-awareness, also of who you are and what this connection is. So give him space. If you're giving him space, you're giving yourself space, allowing you both to grow. But always go back within. If you ask your counterpart why they've done something, they don't know. They're doing it because they're a mirror. They're doing it because they don't know what else to do. I'm telling you, they're not going to be able to explain necessarily why they've done certain things. They had to do it in order to learn a soul lesson, or for soul's purpose, or for your growth or their growth or the growth of your connection, etc. But one of the things we're going to talk about in particular on that webinar is why it's so important to feed your inner masculine divine feminine, and how that's going to show up, and what changes and shifts that's going to make in your outer divine masculine, the person you identify as your twin flame or your divine counterpart or your person, etc. Why is it so important for you to focus on your inner DM to get the physical outer changes? That's what we're going to go into detail about. Really, really exciting. Why? Because it puts all the power back in your hands. You don't have to look at who they're with, what they're doing, why they're doing it, when they're doing it. You don't have to ask any of those questions, because all the answers are within you. You can ask yourself those questions, but there's no need to ask them those questions. So let's get some answers here for the divine feminine. What's going on with the divine feminine on this lead up to the summer solstice? Wow. Wow. Okay, this is amazing. So first of all, scorpionic vibes here. Full moon in Scorp. It's time to release negativity. Yes, fears. It's time to release your fears. Feminine, where is it that you're protecting yourself needlessly? Where is it that you are sort of like, I'm just seeing a feminine like, you know, like this, like covered up, not wanting to show the world, not wanting to expose herself, express herself, not wanting to be vulnerable, and thinking that she's protecting herself. But when in reality, what you're doing is you're pushing away love and you're pushing away connection. It's time to release the fears. It's time to release the past. If you're going over in your mind, feminine, past conversations with your counterpart, thinking, well, there's no way I'm going to let them back in because they did A, B, C, D, we've all been there, then you may wish to go into some meditation or contemplation or mindfulness this weekend leading up to this summer solstice next week, because I think it's very important for the feminine to understand that until you can release this negativity and forgive your counterpart, aka forgive yourself, forgive your masculine, you're likely to continue to feed timelines of separation and timelines of fear and timelines of pain. Isn't it time to release yourself? Haven't you experienced enough pain, enough separation, enough confusion on this journey? Okay. Because on the other side of fear, feminine, is joy and everything that you could have ever wanted. It's also about releasing your fears and negativity around success and abundance. That's a big theme coming up for the feminine right now, as well as joy. So look at this. Your hard work is paying off. Why? Because a new fresh start is coming. We have a new moon here, new moon in Capricorn, 2 new moons. So lots of, this speaks about new cycles beginning, old cycles ending, new cycles beginning. So your hard work is paying off. And it's interesting that both you and your counterpart have Capricorn. You have the new moon and your counterpart has the full moon. Your hard work is paying off. The end of a tough cycle approaches. You can see how this is balancing out beautifully for the inner and outer masculine. Okay, as you know, feminine, everything you do on this journey, it's not all for nothing. So if you've come to that place, it's all for nothing. I don't know, what does this mean? You know, why have I gone through all these struggles? If I'm not going to reach inner union or I'm not going to reach outer union, it's all for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And that's a significant head shift or mindset shift that's really important in this process, because you can take yourself out of that victim mentality and identify as the person who has the power. But we can't have the power if we're looking over here, and what is my counterpart doing? Who are they with? What about the karmic? The more you focus on a supposed karmic, the more you're going to see that, the more the universe says, oh, she or he wants to see the karmic. They want to talk about the karmic. They want to see more of the karmic, and they're going to deliver more of that karmic to you, when in reality, you're like, no, I want union. But you say you want it, but you're focusing on the lack of union. You're focusing on the opposite of union. So how could you want it if you're not focused on what you actually want? So you're sending confusing signals, mixed signals to the universe, and the universe doesn't know what to do. So understand that this new start that's coming is full of opportunity. It's full of abundance. And for a lot of feminines, what I'm seeing is significant shifts in abundance coming with this summer solstice. Starting this month, I'd say the end of this month, especially as Mercury goes direct, and then shifting into July and onward through the rest of the year. So a lot of abundance coming here. And your personal astrology will also tell a story here of what exactly is happening and why exactly this new start is so beneficial and so good. I mean, how could a new start be bad? Well, if there's fear lingering, right? You have to release the fear to allow the new start to happen, the fresh start to happen and occur. Release the fear of what could go wrong, feminine. Release the fear of not being able to take care of yourself. Release the fear of dying alone. That's a big one right now for the feminines, believe it or not. Dying alone, I'm going to end up alone. So go back within, shift the energy, shift everything, the intention, the focus back within. Take the focus completely off of your counterpart. And if there's a fear of doing that, it's probably more of a reason to do that. What is the fear? Identify, why is there a fear there with taking the focus off the counterpart? Do you think if you stop calling them, or you stop thinking about them, or you stop finding yourself in their path somehow, that they're somehow going to forget about you? That's where the work is. That's where the work is. So let's take a look now at, this is so fun to be face to face with you guys. Okay, let's take a look at some tarot here. Some of you probably have never seen my face if you haven't watched the older videos. And I'm sorry I'm shifting. It's really hot out here, so I'm just trying to kind of cool myself off. Overall energies right now of these connections. Yeah. 7 of Pentacles, some earthy energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is the energy of seeds well planted and no need to wait or watch. It's like we don't need to watch a boiling pot because then it doesn't boil. But when we walk away, it boils, and we go in the other room, all of a sudden the water is overflowing. This has to do with abundance because we're talking about the pentacles. We're talking about the 3D. We're talking about the logical world, the world of the 6 senses. That's actually connected to Taurus, one of the earth signs. 5 senses, rather. The 5 senses. And 6th sense would be Pisces, Scorpio. Okay, so the only thing left to do now, this is the energy of the connection, is to nurture the connection. But you don't need to nurture it. You don't even need to send your counterpart love. You are your counterpart. Send yourself love. There's no need to send the external counterpart love, especially in the 3D. The changes and shifts in this connection don't happen in the 3D. They happen within you. And then those changes that are happening within you internally have no choice but to be reflected back externally. No choice. So give yourself this love. Know that you are growing, that you are blossoming, that you are nurturing yourself. That's where the major, major magic is. All right, what's going on in the feminine's 3D world? What is going on in the feminine's 3D world? What is going on in the feminine's 3D world? They don't want to say. Just saw the devil flip over. Now, it didn't come out, but it flipped over. So for some of you, there may be some temptations, or there may be some, I'm seeing temptations in the form of money, or temptations in the form like a new business partner that you may want to watch out for some of you. You already know this intuitively, by the way. But it could also be, what I'm picking up on is people coming in that may not have your best interests at heart, or that may just not be the best fit for you. So notice if you're feeling lonely, or you're just feeling like you just want companionship or partnership, and knowing if you're coming from ego or if you're coming from, a higher place. Okay, just be mindful because it didn't flip out, but it is there. Okay, so energy for the feminines, the Fool and the 9 of Pentacles. It's time for It's time to take that leap of faith. It's time to trust what the universe has in store for you, feminine. This is all about that surrendering that myself and many other readers have been talking about recently. Nine of Pentacles is the single card. It is the card of the single man or woman who has everything they need and they've created it for themselves, and they don't want or need anything outside of themselves. Therefore, everything that they want or need comes to them because they don't need it, because they're not in a lack mentality, they're in an abundant mentality. Again, the Pentacles, we're talking about the 3D world, changes in the 3D world. And the Fool card is the very first card of the hero's journey. Taking that leap of faith. You are starting a new journey. And as you start this new journey, feminine, you have to let go of all preconceived notions, of all former beliefs, of people, places, things. So a lot of you might be lightening your load in some way. You might be moving homes, as I've been saying for a couple weeks now. A lot of feminines might find themselves moving jobs or moving to unexpected places or downsizing. Some of you moving into tiny homes or in some way downsizing your belongings and realizing that your belongings don't make you who you are. I see a lot of you donating clothes and items and things like that, feeling really good about this and really fully trusting this woman is falling backwards and she has full faith and trust in what's going to happen next. She's not worried who's going to be there or who's going to catch her. She just knows that she'll be caught. So with the amethyst that she's holding here, there's an emphasis on inner peace. There's no struggle here. There is no struggle. There's inner peace and an identification with her courage and her strength. There's also peace here with the dove. I don't know if that's a dove, but it's a white bird, so we're going to call it a dove. Oh, there's purity here. Yeah, the white dress, the white bird, there's purity here. There's a sense of wholeness and completion within oneself. You've completed a journey, feminine. Your hard work is paid off. You've completed a journey. The worst is really behind you, feminine. Masculine check-in here. Masculine energy check-in. What's happening in the masculine's 3D world? So feminines, you're asked to take that leap of faith. 5 of Cups. Interesting. There is a feeling of completion here, masculine, okay? What I see happening here for the masculine is I think that there's an energy here of sadness. There's an energy of something didn't work out the way you wanted to. So it's like you're not seeing clearly right now yet. There's a little disillusionment surrounding this summer solstice with the masculines. In regards to the journey, because we see the stars in the night sky and the woman is out in nature, there's like a disillusionment here of things not working out. But what you're missing is that cup behind you that's full, that's radiating with rainbow colors and radiating peace and abundance and joy. Some masculines are feeling really brokenhearted at this time. It's like the inability to see clearly and the mind overtaking the heart. And or there's somebody in your life, there's been an illusion and that's being revealed now, and somebody was deceptive perhaps, and you've got to release yourself from guilt and you've got to find forgiveness in this situation as well. So I do think this could have to do with past interactions with your feminine where you may have felt guilty because you deceived her or him. So I feel like this is about self-forgiveness, but it could also be about someone doing you wrong in your physical world, masculine. Releasing guilt, practicing forgiveness, honoring what was, and inviting in what will be. What's going on in the masculine's heart space? Wow. Okay, there's some complex emotions coming up here for the masculine guys. So we have the devil. The devil did pop out here, the 10 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. So with both the 4 and the 5 of Cups here, there's definitively an energy of sadness. There's definitively an energy of not getting what you wanted and not being, again, here's the 3 cups over here empty and here's the 4th cup here, but she's looking in the opposite direction. Definitely an energy of feeling sorry for oneself, feeling apathetic, feeling bored with what's in front of you, and kind of daydreaming about the future, but feeling like you can't grasp it or it's not within your reach. And the 10 of Swords, of course, is the mental energy, the Swords, the mind, and it speaks, the Cups is the heart. So the Sword speaks of moving on, like letting go of a burden that you were carrying. And there's an energy of release here with the 10 of Swords, of freedom, freeing yourself, untangling yourself from these emotions, from this pain here. There's some painful energy here. There's broken hearts coming up for the masculines this weekend. I mean, look at these cards, guys. This is a masculine who is, though, not looking, he's no longer looking behind, like he's looking ahead, okay? I just want to look up a 10 of Swords. Yeah, painful endings. He's healing. He's healing. With the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Swords coming up together, I feel like there could have been some backstabbing. Somebody deceived them, or they felt deceived by their own emotions or their own choices in life. Okay, they deceived themselves. They tried to pretend like they didn't love you or they didn't need you or they didn't want this, and they've deceived themselves, and now they realize what they've done. So I think there's and that they think that they've lost you. So I think there's a lot of possibilities here for the masculines. And with the devil, the masculines are going to want to be very careful, because what this could mean is that there's some distractions in the form of, could be women for the masculines, if it's a male masculine, or if it's women, either it could be women, it could be men, whatever the preference is. But the masculine here is trying to heal, and then he's got like these people or situations in his life that are trying to bring him back down into that place. And I do feel he's going to conquer this. He's going to overcome this weekend, but that's challenging. This is heart space. That's a challenging heart space. Sometimes I feel like this could mean that the masculine feels like the feminine is a distraction, from his ambitions, from his goals, and that he can't get her out of his head. And he's just like, I cannot quit you. I was watching Brokeback Mountain last night again. And in one of the scenes, Jake Gyllenhaal's character says to Heath Ledger's character, he says, I can't quit you. And it was so potent and so powerful. And that's what this journey feels like for both counterparts, but in particular for the masculines right now. Like, I can't quit this person. They're frustrated because they've always been able to quit other people. It's never been this intoxicating, this feeling. It's never gone on this long. They've never felt this way about someone that they haven't seen for so long, or they haven't talked to for so long, and they can't figure out, why can't I quit this person? What is the meaning of this? So the masculines are kind of in a battle right now in their heart space, but they are moving on from something, feeling sorry for themselves or the heartache. Okay, so now in the union energy, we have 2 of Cups, which is the union card. So we do have union in the union energy. So union it's palatable. You can taste it, feminine, masculine watching. You can taste it, you can sense it, you can feel it. Okay, a lot of telepathy is very strong right now. The telepathy is strong between the twins. So feminine, a lot of you may be transmuting these challenging energies that your masculine is feeling in his heart space. King of Wands, there's passion, okay? Passion, telepathy, love. This is what's going on this weekend with the counterparts. Passion, telepathy, and love. Very, 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 very big and powerful energies. And, there's Page of Pentacles came up. So there is an energy of, pages represent novices, novelty, starting something new. Pentacles, again, the 3D world. There's definitive unions coming into the 3D world, but it's the beginning stages. But there's a lot of passion behind these unions. Now, those of you that are on the union path may not be in physical connection or communication with your counterparts. Let me say that again. Those of you who are on the union path, first wavers, may not currently be in communication or connection with your counterpart. That does not mean that your union is off course, or does not mean it's not happening. Just means you may not be in communication at this time because you've chosen to do the majority of your work in the other realms, in other spaces. Try not to read too much into what is or isn't happening, feminine, in the 3D. Okay? When you find yourself questioning why, go within. Your answers will be there. Okay, it's getting really hot. Some like it hot. Wasn't that an 80s song? The heat is on, it's on the streets, it's in the air. Illumination. What is being illuminated? Transparency is what I just heard that came through really strongly. Transparency, a sense of transparency, a sense of equality coming in as well. Transparency, equality, illuminating the darkness. The dark nights are over. Yeah, this devil energy that was present in the masculine's heart can't stay for long. Why? Because the dark is coming to light. All the answers are coming in. In fact, clarity and answers are flowing in at this time. Your crown chakra is activated, feminine. In masculine, your crown chakras are activated. You are connected. You're connected to higher wisdom. You're connected to the divine. You're connected to your counterpart. You're connected deeply to yourself and your truth. There's no more deception. Look, it's the divine mirror. You cannot deceive yourself anymore. Divine counterparts, you cannot deceive yourself anymore. It's impossible. Masculine, please. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. So this is everything we've been talking about. Masculine, sitting in a place of stillness, but preparing to take action, okay? Because the worst is behind you, preparing to take action. Adjustments are required, remember, but the end of a tough cycle approaches, but currently sitting in stillness, but about to leap into action. The stillness is where you're finding the answers, masculine, where you're realizing that why the cycle had to happen. Why was it so challenging? Why did things happen the way they did with your divine feminine? And you're learning to trust. You are learning to trust deeply, to surrender, to let go, and you're learning to forgive yourself. A lot of masculines held themselves accountable for everything. Other people's actions, other people's inactions, their children, their exes, their spouses, their family members, or everyone, etc., etc. So they placed the whole weight of the world on their shoulders. And then they felt not only angry, they felt like they couldn't meet their own standards. They resented, just saw 33. They resented themselves. They resented other people in their lives who put all this pressure on them, but they allowed those people to put this pressure on them. So they resented everyone involved, including the divine feminine. Why? Because you brought them face to face with themselves. They brought you face to face with yourself. You are the same soul. It's the one soul in two separate bodies. They didn't want that. They weren't ready for that. And it all came crashing down on them. That's why, masculines, you meet your feminine not long after everything comes crashing down in your 3D world. Last year, masculines lost jobs, went through divorces, separations, started to find themselves. They lost everything. Some masculines lost everything, all their wealth, all their abundance, everything they had worked for, and they had to start over, and they blamed the feminine because, just like the feminine blamed the masculine. We're each other's greatest mirror. We just held the mirror up, masculine. That's all we did. And you just held the mirror up for us. There's no need to blame anyone. Feminine, you're walking through a gateway. This is for the feminine. You're walking through a magical time of opportunities here. We have a unicorn. The unicorn represents magic. It represents the ethereal, other realms, the gateway from this realm to the next. Yes, telepathy is increased right now. Telepathy is high right now between counterparts in particular. But in general, you're probably getting activations. You're getting downloads. Trust those downloads that you're receiving. Your gifts are coming online. And your frequency is rising. Your frequency is increasing higher and higher. Trust in yourself. Trust in your magic. Trust in your gifts. Trust that everything that's being presented to you is being presented to you from a higher frequency and a higher place. You're likely seeing things that aren't there at this time, feminine, or hearing things that aren't there in the physical world, but they're real. They're still real. You're not going crazy. I actually heard my counterpart say to me the other day as I was driving. Of course, I was driving, right? Couldn't be when I was like laying down. I was driving and I heard him say, I love you and I'm proud of you. And it was so clear. And he hasn't spoken like that to me in a long time. So listen and trust what you're hearing and what you're receiving. Yeah, due diligence, seeing the bigger picture, but making sure you're covering all your bases at this time right now, feminine. So I feel like you have, your head and your heart. Your head, your heart, your soul, your mind are balanced very beautifully right now. The masculine, the feminine, okay? The creator, the feminine, the masculine, the doer, okay? Due diligence. But blessings are coming in, feminine. Yes, blessings, the gateway of blessings, the gateway of magic, the gateway of abundance, absolutely coming in. And if you don't see the results yet, if you're like, where's the abundance? Things have slowed down a little bit the past few months because all these planets were retrograde. Things will move forward by the end of the month. I promise you, I assure you. Purification process, the cleansing droplets of the rain, the cleansing of the spring showers, the sunflower representing joy, the joy that the feminine is aspiring to reach right now in her life. That should be the only goal right now, feminine, joy. Purifying yourself from everything else that is not joyful, that is not abundant, that does not bring you joy, that does not bring you happiness, that does not feel like love. The purification process, the cleansing of the soul, the cleansing of the past, the cleansing of the mind, the cleansing of memories, so that you can start fresh. Okay. What is coming up for the counterparts? Security, right? 3D security. There's going to be commitments coming up in the 3D for a lot of you. There's imminent unions, because of the deep surrender, the collective surrender that we've led ourselves through. Deep surrender. And the security, connecting with the ancestors. The campfire to me always represents the ancestors, our native ancestors, connecting with the native spirits, connecting with your ancestors, and really trusting, knowing, and understanding that you are being held, you are being watched, you are being protected. This union is protected. It's very secure. It's a sure, certain thing. I'm going to stop there, guys, because it's balls to the wall hot out here, and I'm like sweating. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was great to see you. I hope it was great for you to see me. Many divine blessings, love, abundance, joy, and stay tuned for the next video. I love you guys. Take care.